I'll introduce you to a little pattern and we'll repeat it a couple of different times. So movement with the breath. And in the beginning, it'll be fairly simple, but then later we'll build and add little pieces to the sequence. Sound good? Okay. So let's start sitting. Oh, for props, you might want later blocks. And if your floor is hard, you might want a blanket to support the knees if you need that. Yeah, so at first just give yourself a little bit of movement to settle into your seat. And that could be anything, any little wobbles. And as you are moving, can you feel the sitting bones underneath you? And try to land so that you're even between the two. And once you find that spot, imagine that your sitting bones just got a little heavier and they could root down into your support, the floor, or any props under you. And at the same time, in the head, can you lift up a little bit through the base of your skull? Yeah. And then if it feels okay to close your eyes and relax your face. Relax your forehead. And all of the muscles around the eyes. And just take a few easy breaths. And start to tune into your own breathing. You might notice maybe the inhale is longer, the exhale is longer. You might notice some movement in the chest or in the belly, somewhere else. And from here, let the head bow down and you can let the eyes open. Let's take a hold of your legs and just let the back around, and you can press the hands into the legs and the legs into the hands. You make it a little stretch there in the upper back. Yeah. And then we'll pull on the knees to come back up to the center. And our first little sequence from this seated position, let's take the arms out kind of on the diagonal, fingertips to the floor. As you inhale, let the shoulders shrug up a little bit. And then on the exhale, let them relax down. The inhale will bring the arms up over your head. Exhale, bring the hands together, bend the elbows, little stretch for the backs of the arms. Inhale, we lift up. And exhale, release the arms. So we'll take that pattern a few times. Inhale, shrug the shoulders up. Exhale, let them come back down. Inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale, hands together, elbows up, hands to the back of the neck. Inhale the arms up. And exhale, bring them down. Let's do 2 more cycles. So inhale, the shoulders shrug. Exhale to bring them down. Inhale to bring them up. Exhale, hands together, bend the elbows. Inhale, we're up. Exhale, release. Last one, inhale, little shrug. Exhale, bring the arms down. Inhale, we'll take them up. Exhale, bend the elbows. Inhale to come up. And exhale, release the arms down. Let's actually take the hands on the legs, on the knees, and just do a few times cat-cow. So back and forth. Nice movement with the spine. Great. Okay, so we'll change our shape. I'm going to face the side. You can stay facing forward. And let's take the feet together, Baddha Konasana, but don't go too close. Sometimes we do go close, but for this version, go kind of far out with the feet. And then from here, press down through the hands, sit up really tall. Yeah. And we'll take the right hand, cross it over to the left shin. Keep the left hand behind you and press down into the mat and use that to just sit up really tall. We'll stay in the position, but turn your head to look forward. And then take your left arm, that's the back arm, reach it up and over so you're kind of on the diagonal in this little side bend. Exactly. Then we're going to keep coming, bring the hand down so that, and then bring the knees up a little bit so that the left hand comes to the right leg. And let yourself round back, press the legs out into the hands so you get a little stretch now in the upper back in between the shoulder blades. Good. And then let's undo. And we'll go for side two. So take the left arm over to the right shin. Right hand behind you, press down to lift up. Just pause here for a moment. And then we'll turn the face to look forward. The right arm, reach it up and over on the diagonal, little diagonal side bend. Keep coming with the arm. You can lift the knees a little bit. Hand comes to the shin. And then from here, round the back, press the legs apart and let your chin tuck in so the shoulder blades move apart. Yeah, and then come back to center. We'll do one more on each side. So turning to the left, right hand to the left shin. Left hand presses down. I know it's like yoga twister. Left hand presses down, sit up nice and tall. Turn your face forward and take the left arm, the back arm up and over, first just hanging out in this diagonal. And then you'll lift the knee a little bit, bring the hand to the shin. Round yourself back, press the legs into the hands and let the head drop down a little bit. Yeah, and then last side, we come up. And then over to side two, right hand behind you, left hand to right shin. Press the back hand down into the floor. Sit up nice and tall, nice and tall. Head turns to look forward and we'll reach the right arm up and over for the diagonal side bend. Keep coming, let the knees lift a little bit. Cross the right arm over the left, finding the shins. Let yourself round and press the legs apart and let the head drop. Great, and then let's undo, coming back up to the center. You got it, guys. Turn over, coming to all fours position. Hands and knees. And let's just move a little bit here. So anything is fine. You can take some side bends or circles in the spine. Now tell me, which side of your back is the crummy side? The left side, okay. And then from here, friends, let's pause. Go a little bit wider with the knees, not too wide, and bring the hips back towards the heels. From here, we'll walk both hands a bit over to the right. The right hand might come off the mat. And can you bring the left hip, just reach the left hip and the left arm away from each other, getting a little stretch on the left side of the low back. If you want to add on and intensify that, you could put the left hand on top of the right hand. If you're not up for that, just keep the hands side by side. Yeah. Okay. And then let's undo. Walk the arms over to the left. And then reach the right arm and the right hip away from each other here. Maybe that's where you stay. Maybe you put the right hand on top of the left hand. Good. All right, and then let's come back to center with the arms. Shift forward and let's come into just a brief downward dog to stretch out a little through the backs of the legs. And you can take anything you like. I usually like to pedal the legs, a little shift. And then from here, let's press forward, coming into plank pose. And then from your plank, this version of plank, let's put the knees down on the floor. Go back to child's pose. You can have the toes flat or tucked under, your choice. And then let's do a couple of these. On the inhale, you'll rise up onto the shins, lift the arms up and overhead. And then on the exhale, come back down with the arms in front of you. Now we'll do this a couple more times. If you need to put a blanket under your knees, go ahead and set that up and then join in again. So inhale, we lift. And exhale, we go down. Great, let's take 2 more times just like that. maybe 1.5 more times. And then we'll stay in the up position. So next time we're up, we'll stay. On the exhale, turn the chest one direction. Just pick a side. Let the arms come out and down. And then on the inhale, come back up, turn the chest forward. Exhale to side two, out and down. Inhale, back up. Take one more round on each side. Exhale, we turn and lower the arms. Inhale, we come forward and lift the arms. Great. All right, once you're back up again, let's lower the hands down. Tuck the toes under, send yourself up and back in a downward facing dog. And this time from here, we'll walk forward, bringing the feet to the hands, meeting in a forward fold. Bend the knees a little bit, root down through the legs, and on the inhale, come all the way up to stand. Yes, yogis, release the arms. And then let's stand here and take a little hula hoop asana, just circling out your hips. Great, go the other direction. Okay. And then from here, let's pause. And we'll come to the front of the mat with a slightly wider than usual stance in your legs. I'm going to kind of face diagonal so you can see me. Inhale up with the arms. Exhale, bend the knees, forearms on the thighs. We'll go to the right side first. Inhale, open to twist. Exhale, down. Inhale, left side to twist. Exhale, down. Put your hands to the shins. Come up halfway. Inhale, stretch the chest forward. Exhale, come down, bend the knees. Press into the feet. Inhale, all the way up. We come lift. Exhale, just the arms down alongside you. We'll do that again, this time with the left arm first. Inhale, up. Exhale, bend the knees, forearms on the thighs. Inhale to the left, open. Exhale, down. Inhale to the right, open. Exhale, down, hands to shins. Inhale, halfway forward we come. Exhale, down, little bend. Inhale, all the way up. Exhale, all the way down. We're going to change it. Take your halfway lift. Yay. And now we go back to plank pose. We will not stay. You'll be happy about that. It's too hot to stay. And then come all the way down onto the belly. Yeah. Keep your hands in place. Let's scooch the legs back and down one at a time. And then from the pubic bone to the navel, pretend you've got a zipper there and you're zipping it up. Keep that. Lift the front of the shoulders away from the floor. Point the elbows to the back of the mat, and without moving your hands, try to pull the hands towards your toes. We'll come up a little bit higher. If it feels okay to lift the legs, do, but if that feels crummy in the low back, don't do it. All right. From here, friends, come on down, rest the forehead on the hands. Bend your knees, feet to the ceiling, and just do a little swish, little side to side. Great. Okay, so from here, let's put the legs back down. Press up and back into child's pose, toes tucked under. Yeah. And then from your child's pose, let's come forward to plank, lift the knees, inhale. Exhale, up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, forward to plank. Exhale, knees down, child's pose. Inhale, we come up, arms lift, you're up on the shins. Exhale, back down, hands to the floor, toes tuck under, downward facing dog. Inhale, forward to plank pose. Exhale, knees come down, child's pose. Inhale, we're up on the shins, arms lift. Exhale, arms back down in front of you, toes tuck under, downward facing dog. One more time, inhale, forward plank pose. Exhale, knees down, hips back, child's pose. Inhale, we rise, arms up overhead. Exhale, down, arms in front of you, tuck the toes under. Inhale, and downward facing dog. All right, if you need a moment to check in with your breath, do that here. If you need, instead of downward dog, to rest in child's pose, take that here. Yeah. All right, you guys. To get out of this, let's separate your feet wide and bend the knees. Walk your hands to the back of the mat. Press down through the legs. Inhale all the way up. We lift, arms to the sky. Just give the wrists some circles as you bring the arms down. And then stay at the back of the mat, but soften. I'll just be really lazy and move around for some slither asana. Yeah. All right, so stay at the back of the mat. Take your feet so they're not quite so wide, just normal hips width distance. Inhale the arms out to the side and up. Exhale, hands to prayer, bend the knees, sit the hips back, chair pose. Inhale, up we come again. Exhale, down we go. Let's take it 2 more times. And then this last one will be different. We come up, and then we come down. Hands to the shins, just a halfway lift. And then we come down. Let's walk the hands forward until we get to plank pose. We're not going to stay. From plank, come all the way down to the belly. And we'll do a little quad stretch. So scooch the legs one at a time, back and down. We'll bend the right knee and reach for the foot or the ankle with the right hand. Yeah, you got it. And then from here, yogi, see if you can send the tip of the knee towards the back of the mat. And draw the pubic bone towards the navel. Find that zipper action here in the low belly. If you want to flex the right foot, that's an option too. Alrighty, friends, we're going to let that one go and switch to side 2, bending up the left knee. If you can find the foot, great. If not, don't worry about it. Send the tip of the knee to the back of the mat. And zip up here from the low belly, from pubic bone to navel. And if you wish, you could flex the left foot. Great. Okay. And then let's release that here. Take a little wiggle. And we'll press back, downward facing dog. Let's go ahead, once you get there, take a wide stance with your feet. Bend the knees a little bit. With the knees bent, try to push the mat forward with your hands. Press the tops of the thighs back, away from your hands. And press the top of the thighs apart, away from each other. Now, if you do that a lot, you might feel the ankles bow out. Let's hug the ankles in so the weight's more even on your feet. And then slowly start to go straighter in the legs. Now from here, friends, think about the backs of your knees. From the backs of the knees, reach down the calves, down the backs of the heels in the direction of your mat. Yeah. And the heels, for most of us, they won't touch. For some of us, they will. But one more time, from the backs of the knees, reach downward through the calves and out through the heels. Yeah. And then we'll back off, bend the knees a little bit. Your choice. You can walk the hands to the feet or the feet to the hands. We'll meet in this squat position. Unless some of you want to take it into a deeper one, you might have to rearrange the angle of the legs and commit. It'll kind of look like this. I'm going to stay right here, but if you want to take the other one, feel free. All right, friends, root down through the legs. Inhale, up we come, lift. And release the arms. All right, let's just do a little in and out with the shoulders for a second. And then come to the front of the mat. So you might already be there. Some of you are at the front, some of you are at the back. Yeah. And then once you're here, let's set up for a chair. Again, you can keep the feet apart or take them together, whatever feels best. Bend the knees, bring the hips back, take the hands to prayer. Inhale, we come up, lifting the arms. Exhale, we take hands to prayer, bend the knees, sit the hips back. Take it 2 more times, inhaling up, exhaling down, inhaling up, Exhaling down, stay down, hands to shins, take just a halfway lift. And then we'll come down, bring the hands to the floor, go back to your plank pose. And then we'll do this little sequence again with an add-on. So put the knees to the floor, go back to child's pose. Inhale, up on the shins, lift the arms. Exhale, arms come down forward, tuck the toes under. Inhale, lift the knees. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Let's go one more time. Inhale, forward to plank. Exhale, the knees down, back to child's pose. Inhale, up on the shins, lift the arms. Exhale, or back down, hands to the floor, tuck the toes under. Inhale, lift the knees. And exhale, back, downward dog. Just stay for a moment. Check in with your breath. And now from here, friends, let's bring the feet a little closer to each other at the back of the mat. And we'll come into a pose. It's a little bit similar to pigeon, but it's not quite pigeon. If you don't know what pigeon is, don't worry. Let's take the right knee forward behind the right wrist. And for this one, we're not trying to rotate the thigh out like we sometimes do in pigeon. So it's just a little bit. Keep the back knee lifted, but scooch the back foot back. Yeah. And then from here, yogis, walk the hands a little bit forward. Lift up through the belly. Press back through the left heel. And without moving your hands, try to draw the hands back towards you as you move the chest forward. And if you're lucky, you'll feel a little stretch through the front of the left thigh. Yeah, okay. To get out of this, let's press into the hands. Up we come, back to downward facing dog. You might have to readjust your position. Let's bring the feet a little closer to each other. And then for the left side, coming forward, knee just behind the wrist. Scooch the right leg back, stay upright. Lift up a lot, just right about, just that spot in between the navel and the pubic bone. Take the hands a little bit forward, and without moving your hands, try to pull them towards the back of the mat. Yeah, anybody else getting that a little bit? Okay, good. Now think about this, the back ribs, the lower back ribs, can you lift that part of the back up a little more towards the ceiling? Yes, that was good. That was so good. I know it's funny, this pose, it's a lot of work. Let's go back to downward facing dog. All right, take a moment here. And then let's come meet in our forward fold position. Any way you want to get there. Root down through the legs. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, release the arms. Good. And just do another little shoulder in and out. And why not do a little hula hoop asana? Because I can't do a class without it anymore. All right, go the other direction. So we're going to add on to that pigeon-ish shape that we did. Let me show you. So we'll get into it here. And then you'll come down, but you'll bring the hip to the floor, and you'll just gently turn so that the back leg, the heel turns up. So you're in this position, and we'll go into a Janu Shirshasana. It's ish Janu Shirshasana. It's not exactly it. You'll turn the chest towards this leg, and then take a forward fold over the leg. Yeah? And then we'll unwind, coming back to here, etc. You so excited? You look like you're so excited. Let's try it. So come to the front of the mat. We'll just do one of these. Bend the knees, hands come to prayer, sink back. Inhale, we're up, arms to the sky. Exhale, we're down. Take a halfway lift, chest forward. And then let's come down, hands to the floor, go back to your plank pose. Once you're in plank pose, knees to the floor, back to child's pose. Inhale, up on the shins, lift the arms. Yep, we've done a bunch of these. Exhale down, hands in front of you, toes tuck under. Inhale, the knees lift. Exhale, back to down dog. Just take a second to regroup. Bring the feet a little closer together at the back. And then when you're ready, come forward, bring the right knee behind the right wrist. Pause. That's it. Now you'll lift the hips up a little bit and very gently start to bring the right hip to the floor, and you'll adjust the left leg so the left heel is up. Yes, so you might have to wiggle a little so both hips, so you're essentially sitting. Yeah, that's it. And then from here, friends, at first press the hands behind you, sit up tall, and then you'll turn towards the back leg, and up to you. You might just enjoy sitting upright. You might enjoy coming more forward. Yeah, so so just stay upright. Don't do the forward fold if it's too much. Is it just tight hamstring? Yeah, you and me both. And probably Robin too, so you're in good company. Yeah. And I'll give you a trick when we get to the second side, a little stretch for the lower back. All right, friends, to get out of this, let's bring your torso upright, take the arms to the front of the mat, the back leg turns so that you end up like back into this position again, exactly, and then downward facing dog. Now let's take our little transition to get to side two. So come forward to plank, and then knees to the floor, child's pose. Up onto the shins, arms lift. And then down, arms to the floor in front of you, toes tuck under, back to downward facing dog. From your downward dog, bring the feet a little closer together. Left knee comes forward, just behind the left hand. Right leg might want to scooch back a little bit. And then very gently you'll roll to the left hip down. Then the right hip comes down and the toes are facing up. Oh, this side's tighter for me. Yeah, if you need to adjust, do it. You might take your left foot a little more this way. Yeah, and that might help. Yeah. Okay, that's where you are. That's where you are. Press down into the floor, sit up tall. And now just turn your torso towards the straight leg. Yeah. Now maybe this side is so tight, this is enough for you. Maybe some of you walk forward with the arms. Now what I might recommend for you, just keep the hands pressing down, sit up tall, keep the rotation, and then think of, don't actually go forward, but take your left arm just outward and see if that gives you a little pull on the left side of the back. Does that feel good or no good? Feels okay? All right. Yeah. The QL muscle is this one right here. Okay. And then from here, friends, let's undo. Walk the arms to the front of the mat, readjust. Let's go back to downward facing dog. Just take a second. And then we'll take our little transition. So inhale forward to plank. Exhale, knees down, back to child's pose. Inhale up on the shins, we lift. Exhale down, hands to the floor, toes tuck under, downward facing dog. We're going to stay here. Take your feet about as wide as the mat and rotate the legs in a little bit. Internal rotation. Yep, that's it. Bend the knees slightly. Press the mat forward with your hands. Send the hips back and up away from your hands. And just like we did in the other one, press out at the tops of the thighs. So they press apart. Counter that by hugging in a little through your ankles. And then slowly go straighter in the legs. Let's keep the internal rotation for this one. Oh, yeah. All right, guys, reset so the toes point straight ahead. Let's walk the hands back like we did before. You can bend the knees as much as you need. And then your choice, either prop up forearms on the thighs, or if you prefer the lower version, that's fine. Yeah. Yeah, me too. All right, friends. When you're ready to get out of this, press into the floor with your feet. Inhale all the way up, lift the arms. Give the wrists a couple little circles as you bring the arms down. Yeah. And then let's just do a big twist. I'll have my back to you here. So we're gonna go to the right. Let's take the left arm and kind of swing it out on the diagonal and go onto the left big toe and turn the chest to the right. Oh, yeah. And then you'll come down, change to the second side so the right arm does a little swoop. That's it. You're on the right big toe, and then turn your chest to the left. Yeah. Oh, you guys look, we could be the Rockettes here. Let's undo, coming back to center, and just wiggle it out a little bit. Oh. All right, so let me show you. We're going to do the same little pattern we did with an add-on. So we've come here, we've come here. On the next round, instead of going this way, you'll come this way. So it's in between the two legs. And then there's more. Whatever's your front leg, you'll place that hand to the floor. You'll bring the sole of the foot to the floor, and then whee, up we come. It's just glorious. You'll come down, hands to the floor, reset, back to down dog. These, you can't see them, but they're so excited. Oh no, Robin's left the room. Okay, let's come to the front. We'll do our chair sequence again. So feet right underneath you or touching if you prefer. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, hands to prayer, knees bend, back to chair. Let's do 2 more times. Inhale up. Exhale down. 1 more time up. And then we'll stay in the down. Halfway lift, chest comes forward. And then let's go straight into downward dog. So hands to the floor, walk the legs back. Downward facing dog. You can bring the feet closer together. And then we'll come forward, right knee just behind the right hand. Pause. That's it. Scooch the left leg back, and then very gently come to sit on the right hip, and the left leg turns around, left toes are up. That's it. Press down into the floor, sit up tall. Maybe you just stay sitting up tall. Maybe you add in that fold over in between the two legs. So crawl the arms out into the middle. If that's no good, yeah, you just stay put. You're fine. Yeah, but press into the floor and really sit up tall. Good. Now, have a little peek, everybody, at the left foot. We don't want a lazy foot. We want to reach out through the heel. Yes. Okay. If you came forward, let's come back in. Now go ahead and do relax the foot. The foot will turn to the floor. Right hand comes to the floor. We go up onto the right shin. Left arm swings up, kind of like we did in that twist. Yeah, exactly. And you can make a dramatic sigh if you want to. And then down we come, 2 hands to the floor. Readjust so the back heel turns up, and then we'll head into downward facing dog. Yeah, take a second. We're going to do that little transition sequence. When you're ready, inhale forward plank. Exhale, knees down, hips go back, child's pose. Inhale, we're up on the shins, lift the arms. Exhale, arms come down and forward, tuck the toes under, back to downward facing dog. All right, friends, here's our second side. Step the feet a little closer together. And then the left knee comes forward just behind the left hand. Scooch the right leg back a little bit. And then very gently roll to the left hip. And then the right leg turns so the heel is down, the toes are up. Yeah. Press down into the floor, sit up really tall. You decide if you're just staying up, just stay up, or if you're coming forward, walking the hands through the middle. Wherever you are, we'll just stay for a moment. All right. And then check out your right foot. Make sure it's alive. Press out through the heel. If you came forward, let's come back up. Relax the foot. The foot's going down towards the floor. You'll go into the left shin. Sweep the right arm. Ah, dramatic. Yes. Okay. And then to get out, 2 hands to the floor. Readjust, turn the back heel up, and then we'll head in a downward facing dog. You choose. You can stay here. You could go to child's pose and stay there. Or you could take this one with me. Inhale forward to plank. Exhale, knees down, back to child's pose. Inhale up on the shins, lift the arms. Exhale down, hands to the floor. Tuck the toes under, back to downward dog. Now those of you who did something else, go ahead and join us here in down dog. And when you're ready, we'll meet in a forward fold. Any way you want to get there is fine. Root down through the legs. Inhale or up. Ah, release the arms. Yogis, we made it. We made it. We could add on more, but I'm not going to add on more. That's enough for today. Let's take a little hula hoop here. And then go the other direction. Keep going this same direction, but bend the knees a little more and let there be extra movement in the ankles. Yeah, exactly. And then do that going the other way. What? Yeah. Yeah. No, that's good. I do that on purpose. All right, let the movement settle. And then let's reset yourself just to a comfortable stance. So feet right underneath you. And shift over. I'm going to mirror you guys. So shift over onto your left leg. Just go onto the right toe. Yeah. Notice if the hips are kind of sagging out to the left side. Can you press the left foot? Just really firmly press it into the floor, and at the same time let the outer hip hug in. Yeah. Do you feel how that awakens and alivens the standing leg? Let's relax. And then we'll do the other side. So the weight is on the right side. You're on the left big toe. And go ahead, let's let the hip sag out a little more than you normally would. And then we'll adjust for that by pressing the foot firmly down into the floor. Let the outer right hip hug in. Yeah. So exciting. Okay, and then pause. Let's go back to side one. And if you want to balance more, you could pick up the leg and hold on to it with your hand. If you don't, you could just keep the toe on the floor. Now let's press the standing foot down into the floor. Let the outer hip hug in. Excellent work. Now, if you'd like to add on, we'll take the right leg to the right and the left arm to the left. Keep the work going on the standing leg. Yeah, that's all right. You can do it just pivoting on the toe by keeping the foot on the floor. Great. And then we'll come back to center, release. Take a moment. Now, halfway between foot on the floor and leg up, you could put your foot on a block any height and just spin open. So that's another option. Okay, friends, this will be our last side. I forgot which side. This one, yeah. Okay, so the left one is coming up. Maybe it's coming all the way up, maybe it's not. From here, the standing foot, press the foot down, hug the outer hip in. Keep that going on. And if you're up for it, take the left knee wide and take the right arm wide. Keep pressing down firmly into the standing foot. Keep breathing. And then let's return to center. Release the leg. Take a little movement. Nice job, yogis. Okay. So from here, let's come into, we'll do a few poses together, and you'll likely want blocks for this. So let's set them up at the front. Yeah. So I'm going to have us do something in mountain pose, and then we'll do it in the back leg in warrior one. I'll have my back to you for a second. So in your mountain pose, just like we did in one of the down dogs, from the back of the knee to the heel, root down. But then also from the back of the knee up the back of the leg, all the way to the buttocks. Can you lift that part of the leg up? And then can you send the buttocks flesh down? Yeah. And all of this, you're not really going anywhere, but do you feel a little more energy through the legs? Yeah, let me say it again. So just relax. Just stand like kind of lazily. And now pay attention to the backs of the knee. Reach from the backs of the knee down through the backs of the calves to the heel into the floor. And then from the backs of the knee, lift up through the backs of the legs. And then send the buttocks flesh down towards the heels. Oh, let's keep that in the legs. Take the arms out and up, lift up through the arms. And now in the arms, think of the backs of the arms, the triceps to the pinkies lifting up. But then the thumbs down to the inner shoulders, let that drop down a little bit. Oh, yeah. Are you breathing? No. Okay, release the arms, relax the legs, shake it out a little bit. Okay, now from here, let's practice that in a warrior one. Hands to the hips, reach the right leg back with the heel down on the floor, and we'll start with both legs long, straight. Yeah. Now, like we did in mountain pose, on the right leg, think about the back of the knee, reach from there down through the back of the heel. Yeah. Now, I'm still on the right leg, think about the back of the knee lifting up from the hamstring. Yeah, great. And then the buttocks flesh, let that move down. All right, bend the front knee. Can you feel how active the back leg is? I can see it. It's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah, so just bend the front knee, just wherever it goes, it goes. Reach the right arm only up. Yeah. And now, like we did in mountain pose, from the tricep, the back of the arm, reach up through the pinky. Yeah, and then on the thumb side of the hand, from there down to the inner shoulder, let that soften a little bit. Gorgeous. Take the other arm up to join. And then on both arms, from the triceps to the pinkies, lift. From the from the thumbs to the inner shoulders, release down a little bit. Yeah. Okay. Now keep doing all that, but relax it a little bit. Yes. Okay, friends, let's come forward and down, landing the hands on the blocks. And then take a few times, just bend and straighten the front knee. Stretch out the left hamstring a little bit. Yeah. Now, if you want to do this, walk the left foot a little wider and stack your blocks so that you have a little more room. Yeah, and pull them back slightly, like a little closer to you. Yeah. Does that feel better? Yeah, great. All right, friends. I'll do that version too, just so you can see. Let's pause next time the front leg is your version of straight. And think now about the hip crease on the left leg, the front leg. Draw that back, and at the same time move the chest forward. On the back leg, press into the heel. Good. Are you breathing? I just have to ask, you didn't look like you were, so. Yeah, all right. Now from here, friends, we're taking a variation of triangle pose. I'm gonna put my block a little lower. You might stay though. Let's put the right hand to the right hip, and then start to turn the chest open to the right, but leave the pelvis alone. Just leave the hips where they are. Yeah, okay. And then down comes the chest. Let's re-bend the front knee. Take your arms back, and then on an inhale, up we come, warrior one pose, just for a second. That's it. And then step yourself forward, release the arms, just move around a little bit. Yay. Okay. Any questions? Anything you want to say? I know I threw a lot at you. Okay, great. Let's do the second side. Hands to the hips. This will be our last one. We've only got 2 legs, so left leg back, heel down to the floor. And let's pause with both legs straight. Stand a little wider like you're standing on train tracks, each leg in its own lane. Yeah, good. Now on the back leg, from the back of the knee to the back of the heel, root down. And then from the back of the knee up the leg to the buttocks, lift. And then let the buttocks drop down towards the heel. Yeah, okay. Let's keep that. Bend the front knee, any amount that works for you. Just the left arm reach up. And then from the tricep to the pinky, lift. From the thumb side of the hand to the inner shoulder, let that soften a little bit down. Yeah, turn your palm in towards me, yes. And then take the other arm up to join. Both arms back of the triceps up to the pinkies, lift. And then from the thumbs to the inner shoulder, drop down. Yeah, keep the back leg alive. And then slowly, let's come forward and down, landing your hands. The blocks can be any height. Yeah, pull them in even more. So it's like all the way to the inside of your foot. That's it. Bend and straighten the front knee a couple of times. And your version of straight is fine. For me, it's not going to go all the way. And for you, it might not either. Yeah. So we're going back and forth here. Good, good. Now, if this feels like a lot, you can do her version where the blocks are stacked and you widen the front foot a little bit. Feel free to try that. All right, guys, let's pause with the front leg, your version of straight. Yeah, is that better? Okay, good. And at the hip crease on the right side, cut that back. At the same time, move the chest forward. On the right foot, press down through the ball of the big toe. Yeah, all right. Now from here, let's put the left hand to the left hip. Leave your pelvis alone. Start to turn the chest open to the left, coming into a variation of triangle pose. Yeah. I like getting into it this way. I find it's a little nicer on the SI joint than the regular version. All right, let's come back down. Rebend the front knee. Take your arms back, and on the inhale, we come up, warrior one pose. And then step forward, release the arms. Ah, yay. And just wiggle it out. Take a second. Yeah. Let's take one of these again. So widen your stance a bit. Bend the knees, bring the hips back, and rest the arms on the legs. That's it. If you want to do the lower one, you can. At the tops of the thighs, widen apart. In your feet, hug in a little through your ankles. Excellent. Yeah. All right, friends. And then to get out, let's just come up to stand. No fanfare, just get there. Yeah. Okay. So let's move the blocks out of the way. Come down to, let's go ahead and lie down on your back. They're like, yay. All right. Here, once you're here on your back, sorry, I've got some arranged, my hair, it's always a hair thing. Let's bring the right knee into the chest and stretch the left leg just long on the floor in a relaxed fashion. Yeah, give the right knee a little squeeze in. And then from here, if you can interlace the hands in front of the shin, do that. Press the shin forward so the arms feel a little bit pulled. Breathe in. On the exhale, let the low belly press towards the floor and let the left leg lift. Inhale to stay. And on the exhale, press the right leg more so that the upper back lifts. Yeah. And then on the inhale, we'll come down, keep the knee bent, and twist, bringing the right leg over to the left. Any amount is fine. And now stay in your twist and think about your right sitting bone pulling down towards the left foot. A little bit. It's possible to overdo that, so just a little bit to give you a bit more space in there. Yeah. Okay, up we come to center. And we'll change sides. So we'll put the right leg long, bring the left knee in. At first, just give it a little squeeze. Take a second. If you want to move around, that's fine. Yeah. And then from here, yogis, with the hands, the fingers interlaced in front of the shin, press outward with the legs so the arms feel a little stretched. Breathe in. On the exhale, drop the navel towards the mat and then lift the right leg. Inhale to stay. Exhale, press the left leg more and let the chest, the shoulders, the head lift. Yes, and then down. And we'll twist, bringing left leg over to the right side. Any amount is fine. Once you're there, bring the left sitting bone towards the right foot on the diagonal. Yeah. Okay. And then we'll come back to center here. Bring both knees into the chest and just give a little anything, maybe a little stir, a little circle, whatever feels good here. Well, that feels good to me. Great. And then from here, I think everybody has blocks today. So I'll show a couple different options. And for you, I want you to try this one. It's a supported bridge. And if anyone else wants to try this one, you'll take the two blocks on the diagonal And then you lift the hips up, wedge the blocks in so that they're kind of stuck in there between your body and the floor, so they're balanced. And the back of your pelvis is pretty close. It's like an inch or two away from the floor, and you're kind of suspended in like a little hammock. Yeah. Now, some of you might prefer, instead of this version, you could have the block just straight under the hips like that, or you could do 2 blocks if you wanted to go higher. Yeah. I'm going to just adjust yours for a second. So just lift the hips a little bit, all full with the blocks, and then come down. Good? Okay. And actually, you've got it, but I'm going to help lift and then down. Good? Okay, does that feel nice on your back? Awesome. And then whatever version you're in, just relax. Sometimes that's the hardest thing, is after all this work, just to relax. Yeah, the knees will stay bent. You know, I've seen some other folks do it with the legs long on the floor, but whenever I try, the whole thing falls apart. So you're welcome to try if you want. And then some people like this version, if you're in the diagonal wedge, you can lift the knees, and that'll create a little more weight just to kind of spread the back of the pelvis a little bit. Does that feel all right? Yeah. Actually, those of you who are in the other block setup, you could do this version too, if you wanted to. All right, friends, whatever you've done, let's release the legs, lift the hips just to get the blocks out, come back to the floor. Oh, it feels like I'm sinking in. And then if you wanted to take a little windshield wiper here, that might feel good, letting the knees go side to side. If you wanted to do something symmetrical, you could do just a pressing the hands into the legs. If you wanted to take more like a stretch, that's an option. So I'll leave it up to you for a second, whatever you feel like you need to feel complete before Shavasana. Yeah. I'm just going to turn out that light for you guys on the side. So whenever you're ready, friends, we'll settle into your final shape, your Shavasana. Important that you feel comfortable in whatever position you're in. And see if you can relax through the chest. Relax the belly. Relax your face. And all of the little muscles around your eyes. Relax your jaw. And the little muscles at the base of your skull. Bring your attention back to your body. And start to create a little movement, something small. Whenever you're ready, let your knees bend and roll over onto one side. And from there, take your time to press up to sit. And we'll meet with hands at heart center. Thank your own body for everything that it's able to do. And thank yourself for showing up. Namaste.